You have to cure him of
issue.
the lycanthropy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works. Okay. See, we're solving everybody's problems here. If you ever
Or we're causing more problems.
We're causing more problems, but that's kind of the whole fun of the role-playing games, right? On the last episode, you had given us an idea of a plot hook that we could explore. And I was searching through the internet, and I found this old post about somebody who was looking for advice about inadequate adventure hooks, and I thought we could look at the 6 that they had and see how we might, spice it up a little bit.
This is definitely an old post, 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to guess that they've
with 10 upvotes and 14 comments. I'm wondering how far down you had to go to find this.
It was a trip. Anyway, the post from AD&D, by the way, Reddit thread for AD&D. Imagine, if you will, a big city police detective has retired to a sleepy little village and has the bright idea of setting himself up as a private eye. Hoof and Horn Detective Agency. Save the world, yada yada, or at least stave off boredom. Cue montage for totally inadequate adventure hooks, with the highlight being help Timmy find his lost dog. I'm looking for examples of these for a group of eager but still wet behind the ears adventurers, level 2 to 3, in your typical starter village on the frontier pseudo-medieval setting. These would be helpful for steering the players toward choosing the more enticing adventure I've put prep time into, roleplay opportunities to get to know the local NPCs, maybe even finding the first ever so innocuous clues that lead to a bigger mystery. And they have given 6 examples of what they think their inadequate adventure hooks are. And so I thought we would look at them and just quickly kind of get an idea of what we might do to, spice it up a bit.
Sure. I'm wondering why they're calling them inadequate adventure hooks. So, are they not enough?
I don't think that there's enough here to really flesh out. They haven't fleshed these out. They had basic ideas, and they're looking for more to them. Let's just do the first one, and maybe that will explain more. Okay, so escort a wagon of supplies to Badger's Pass. There have been sightings of wolves on the moor, and the wagoner is nervous. Now, I can kind of understand what they're talking about here. Is basically an escort mission, but
yeah, great.
Wolves.
Everyone loves those.
And there's wolves. Okay, there's wolves, and it's an escort mission. So we might need a little bit more to make this interesting, especially if it's supposed to be some kind of a detective agency. Maybe there's some kind of mystery involved here. However, I'm going to say that there's a real easy thing to do. Those wolves, they're werewolves.
Yeah, and the bag, the supplies are supplies for, it's full of meat.
It's full of meat.
Full of meat.
Somebody had decided that that wagon, they needed to sabotage it. So they replaced whatever they were carrying with meat to attract the wolves.
Yeah, no one noticed.
No one noticed.
I don't really like escort missions. I don't think anyone really likes escort missions.
No.
So protect us. It's okay, but are you planning on getting attacked? Because I would like an escort mission that flips the script where it goes, hey, I need someone to just play guards. But nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Or here's a fun idea for an escort mission. Tell me if you like this idea. You script it so that the people that you're escorting do die. And the rest of the mission is trying to figure out how they were killed while you were not looking.
You turn around and they're dead.
You set up a camp. You go off into the woods to, water the trees, right? And you hear back at camp, and you come back and the entire group is just dead. They're just stabbed in the heart. And somebody has run off with the stuff that they were carrying.
Oh, see, even better. I think it'd be great if, while you're not looking, the people with the, running the wagon disappear. They don't die. They just vanish.
Oh.
So now, instead of being able to finish your escort mission, you've got this wagon of supplies.
Yeah.
And either you need to find it, or maybe you take the wagon to its destination and they blame you for the disappearance.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an idea too.
Yeah,
That kind of
spicing that up.
Yeah, it gets spicy. Hey, now you're on an actual mystery. And that's good because we're trying to make detective stories. Okay, cool. Carpenters have arrived to rebuild the bridge. They need timbers from Deepwood. The lumberjacks need some guards. Who knows what dangers lurk in the woods? Also,
Ooh.
assistance from a druid to advise on sustainable forestry.
Okay, so it's not just an escort mission.
Yeah.
It's an escort, but also find a druid.
Also, you got to get a druid, and also it's a little bit like Catan, and we're doing resource management. So
Great. I think for this one, it should be more interesting because the druid doesn't really want to help you cut down trees, or maybe the woods that you want the trees from. Dryads.
yes.
So you've got to bargain with the dryads or defeat the dryads to be able to get these trees you need. That'll spice it up a little. Maybe the druid really doesn't want you to cut them down. Maybe the druid is only going to help if you help them replant a grove. I don't know.
Here's another question that I have that might be worth exploring. Who wants to rebuild the bridge?
Town, I assume.
Maybe. But, like, what if somebody decided that they wanted to rebuild the bridge because they're trying to form an attack and it's going to be way easier if they rebuild the bridge? How did the bridge get broken in the first place?
Yeah, what happened to the bridge?
Who destroyed the bridge?
Yeah, that's the mystery you've got to solve that you didn't know that was there. Why is the bridge out?
And it turns out that, like, they knew that there was a raiding party that was going to be coming across, and so they destroyed the bridge, and now...
Sure.
And now somebody who wants the raiding party is funding the bridge rebuild.
Even better, why did they need to repair the bridge when the creek that runs underneath it is dry?
Ooh, that's always a good idea. Ooh, what if the druid had destroyed the bridge? What if the druid destroyed the bridge because there were all of these people coming into the woods to try and destroy the tree, to cut down the trees? So if we destroy the bridge, maybe they won't come over anymore and cut down the lumber. You know?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, hey, it's spicy. We're getting spicy here. Farmer Fenton has a problem. A badger has been attacking his chickens. What is with the badgers?
Badger.
Badger pass. Badger's been attacked. Okay. First of all, if a badger is attacking the chickens, sacrifice the chickens. You don't want to deal with the badger.
Or sacrifice the badger.
I think the badger is going to have a problem with that. Honey badgers don't care. The thing about it, you can't do anything with badgers. I swear, there should be an ultimate legendary monster, and it is just a normal badger.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Anyway, okay, so the badger's attacking the chickens. I don't know. You stop the badger, or you relocate the chicken. I don't really know how to make this more interesting than that.
That's the entire thing. Yeah, that's very inadequate. A badger's been attacking the chickens. Great. Why is this my party's problem? The farmer can deal with the badger.
Right. Unless, like, the badger came out of nowhere, or it turned out that it was actually, like, another one of... Maybe it was that druid from before.
Yeah. Are we talking like a dire badger? A very large badger? Are we talking about a fiendish badger? Are we talking about some monster that needs to die? Because, like, the farmer can get a crossbow or a bow and arrow and take care of a badger himself.
That's probably true. Hey, here's a way that we could spice this up, though. What if the badger could talk?
Oh, yeah. Then he's like, but I really need these chickens. And we go, swiper, no swiping. And then he goes, the swiper's a fox, I'm a badger.
Here's an idea. The farmer thinks that the badger is actually attacking the chickens. The badger is actually liberating the chickens, because he knows that the chickens are going to go to slaughter. That the farmer's going to kill off the chickens. So the honey badger is actually an animal rights activist and decided to take the chickens and keeps carrying them off. Yeah.
The badger is just the farmer who's been cursed with lycanthropy.
Oh.
Or sorry, not lycanthropy, I guess just being a were-badger.
He's a were-badger.
That when they go to bed at night, they turn into a badger and attack their own chickens.
Oh, yeah.
So now it ties in with the wolves from before, I guess, if you want.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Now you gotta solve this guy's issue of having...
You have to cure him of the lycanthropy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that works. Okay. See, we're solving everybody's problems here. If you ever
Or we're
have
causing more problems.
We're causing more problems, but that's kind of the whole fun of the role-playing games, right? Just give us your half-baked ideas, and we will fully bake them. We
Twice bake them sometimes.
We will take your half-ass ideas and use our full ass to fix it. That's our guarantee here at Total Pebble Knockdown. Okay. Does anyone know herbalism? Gwen, the apothecary, needs some assistance in gathering some herbs.
I feel like she should assist you in gathering the herbs if she wants the right herbs, because unless you actually know your plants well, you might not grab the right things.
Yeah.
Why don't we get the druid from before to help?
If they're not serving time from blowing up that bridge.
Yeah. I think for this one it'd be easier to spice it up by going, yeah, the apothecary needs a bunch of this plant, but it looks very similar to this other plant that is actually like deadly poison.
Oh, yes. That would be something fun. And if you can't properly identify it, this is where like your herbalism skill would actually come in very handy. But if you can't properly identify it, the apothecary Gwen makes the wrong thing and ends up like poisoning everybody.
Great, I love it. Yeah, no, that or maybe they only grow in a certain area that has these deadly monsters or some other situation going on there that you have to deal with. Maybe these herbs only grow in moon pools under a full moon, and the moon pools also attract the lycanthropes we've been dealing with.
That's true. Oh, I can flip this on a script a little bit too. I think I can do this, because we don't know anything about this Gwen. We don't really know anything except that Gwen's an apothecary. Okay, and, out in the middle of the woods maybe? Who knows?
Sure. The witch in the woods, got it.
What if the reason why it's so hard for her to find these herbs is because these herbs actually are poison? Like, she's specifically looking for herbs that are going to be poisonous, so that she can sell it to people that she doesn't like. She's trying to create a poison. And if you have the right herbalism skill, or if you can find out, twist is she's trying to create the poison, and you have to be able to figure out that she's doing that.
Oh. Well, would you care?
It depends on who she's targeting, or maybe you have to investigate that. It's an investigation. So,
and then later on you find out the local lord was killed by a poison made of this stuff that you found. Oopsies.
Oh no. He was probably in charge of rebuilding that bridge.
Yeah, well, comeuppance, I guess.
There's a lot of people that just did not like that bridge. Okay. Odard the Bard.
Great. We're good already.
I feel like I should stop there. But okay, Odard the Bard has heard of a dolmen in the South Hills. He wants to know if there are any inscriptions or other signs of the dolmen. He is doing research for a poem about the region.
Okay, so what's a dolmen, first of all?
So you're not the only one who was a little confused. Okay, let's look it up. This is a learning experience, folks. We're going to learn what a dolmen is. A dolmen, or portal tomb, is a type of single-chamber megalithic tomb, usually consisting of 2 or more upright megaliths supporting a large, flat, horizontal capstone or table. Basically, it's like an entranceway to a crypt or something like that. Let's just say, for simplicity's sake, that's kind of it. There's a dolmen there, wants to know if there's any inscriptions or signs on it, and doing research about a poem for the region. This sounds like a very boring bard, first of all.
All these quest ideas sound very, very similar and very dull.
Yes.
This sounds like another escort and identify quest. I
gotta be honest, I like the idea that these were kind of left open because, that leaves room for the imagination. But at the other point, I'm not particularly intrigued by anything here.
I feel like these are the ones that you see on the notice board that have been left there because no one wants to take them because they're boring.
When Geralt gets into town and is done with, the big monster hunts, we need to find the frying pan. So now we're doing the frying pan mission from the board. How do I make this better?
Reading the inscriptions summons the ghost of the tomb.
Oh, yeah, there's a good thing. Ooh, the bard was the ghost. Had to read the inscription to resurrect himself. His body was in the dolmen the whole time.
Oh, there you go. That is, he's making sure that someone buried him appropriately.
Yes, exactly. Or, turns out that the bard, kind of a necromancer. Likes to raise the dead. Maybe that's what maybe
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, he wants to make sure the person inside is that legendary Draugr lord.
The poem that he's writing about the region is about him.
Oh, the poem is just Jabberwocky. It's all good.
Yes, exactly. If anyone's ever wondering about what Jabberwocky was about, Vorpal Sword goes snicker snack. It was literally Odard the Bard that thought that up, so...
Sounds about right.
Great. Okay. This next one, though, I do kind of love this. It's so simple. The Lord Swan has got loose, and it has a mean temper.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's nothing you can do here. The geese are gonna geese, and boy, they'll bite you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a swan, so...
Oh,
but
swan. Whatever. Are swans mean? Are they as mean as geese?
I don't know. It was called Untitled Goose Game, not Untitled
That's
Swan
fair,
Game.
I guess.
Not Swan Game, but I don't know. I guess swans can be kind of nasty. You know?
Well, the goose laid the golden egg. Maybe the swan lays silver eggs.
Maybe the swan lays silver. Maybe. I don't know.
I think the quest is perfect.
Yes, exactly. You just go, the swan got loose, has a mean temper, and obviously you kill the swan. And then bring the severed head of the swan back to the Lord and say, I have found your swan.
Yes, but unfortunately when you bring it back, the Lord goes, that's not my swan. And then he points, that's my swan. And it's really a cockatrice.
It's really a cockatrice the whole time.
Yeah, or it's a mega swan, like this giant swan.
It's a giant swan. It's a It's swan.
Giga swan, yeah.
Giga swan. And hey, you know what? Then you find out that swan was actually the pet of like one of the town's children. And you've now severed the head, and you have to go get Odard the Bard, who is able to, resurrect people.
It all wraps around.
Yeah, so that you can get the swan back together. That's what happens. Or...
Perfect.
Oh, even better. The swan, it was actually a were-swan. And it was one of the characters you met earlier that you have now killed as a were-swan. And maybe it was the druid. These wrap in... Here's the great thing, is that when you look at all of these adventure hooks, right? You can see how, like, even if they're inadequate, you can keep, like, working off of each other. The events of one, just keep bringing them into the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and before you know it, your disparate group of half-baked ideas become fully baked.
Yeah, and then the town gets destroyed by a giant swan. Swanzilla.
Swanzilla! We gotta make Swanzilla a thing, folks. There is an update, which I think is interesting. The Great Swan Chase worked very well. The really nice thing was that Chase Down the Swan also introduced the PCs to a variety of NPCs, including especially the other NPCs with totally inadequate adventure hooks.
TM.
TM. Farmer Fenton was most annoyed with the ragtag mob chasing a swan through his field of vegetables. He demanded compensation, or at least a favor regarding a badger. Ah, I see. So the swan chase ended up leading into the badger issue.
So my question is, why are these jerks running through the field of vegetables?
Yeah.
Chasing the swan? But also, why is he not planting his vegetables in rows that you can easily navigate through?
Well, the thing about it is, right?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Move on.
Folks, if you have any half-baked ideas that you would like us to thoroughly unbake for you, just let us know in the comments down below, and we'll do something.